All right, I had to do this from my vehicle. I'm on the move today, so
Oh, no worries,
um,
man.
I hope that's not a problem.
Dude, I'm just happy to talk to you, man.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man.
But my story, I got sick, and so it was from an injury from a flu shot, and I came down with Guillain-Barré syndrome. I thought I was coming down with MS.
Mm,
Right, it mimicked what I thought was happening to my body. It was becoming weak very quickly,
mm.
just 48 hours after. But I had a doctor, and it was the best thing he could have said to me was what he said. And I was paralyzed, and I was getting rushed into, the neurological unit. But first, after that, they were taking me to the blood bank in the hospital, and they said we have to start this treatment, which is called plasmapheresis treatment, right? And we think it could help. We're not sure,
Yeah.
right? Here I am fully paralyzed. It's beginning to affect my speech at that moment. So my mouth was even, I could feel it. And they said the last step is the lungs. And then when it attacks your lungs, it's life or death. You could die, But he was the one, I remember his name, Dr. Campbell, and he introduced himself as they're wheeling me down. And he said, did anybody tell you that this in the next 48 hours, this could kill you? And this is it. And he goes, I owe it to you for you to know that
Wow.
this is that serious. And I said, no, nobody said that to me. Him saying that, though, gave me the will deep inside of me. I literally said there was a deep knowing, and there was a moment I had where I said, no, not me. It's not time.
Wow.
And I heard that voice, that inner voice answer back and say, it isn't your time if you don't want it to be. It was
Wow.
so clear. It was so clear. Like, it is not your time if you want it to be. You have a choice. I truly believe, like, yes, in that moment, I had a choice. And he said, but what the choice was how I respond to whatever's thrown my way now. All right, I'm paralyzed. I have to fully, radically accept this. I'm using these terms now. Then I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, what? And I was like, I can't feel anything. I'm paralyzed. I don't know if I'm going to live. Okay. That's a fact, but we don't know. We're not promised any day anyway,
Yeah.
the next day. So there's this kind of moment that there's a shift of, in our minds and hearts then too, saying, okay, well, I'm right on the edge. Um, and I can choose to choose my reaction and response to all of this.
Yes.
Right now, I honestly, it was surrender. It
Mm.
was in that moment, the only thing I could do was surrender to what was occurring to me. And I was paralyzed. And I said, surrender. And literally, that was kind of my inner knowing and, a deeper kind of, spiritual experience for me. Something
Yeah.
saying, you don't, now this is the time in your life you have to fully surrender to whatever is going to be because you cannot control, you have zero control over any of this,
Yeah.
except the will to live. The will. That's what it felt like. It felt like a fire inside of me that said, I have the will to live, but if I don't, I also have to accept that. It was a long journey. Nobody could get to me, snowstorm hit, all of
Oh,
these things
wow.
happened. Yeah, it was a nor'easter hit. I'll never forget it. And it dumped, 25 inches, 26 inches of snow. Family couldn't get to me. Friends couldn't get to me. So I was alone. And that night, I had a friend. She risked her life. It was a state of emergency. They didn't want anybody on roads and
Yeah.
interstates. And I had a friend, and she showed up at my bedside, the one person that could get to me because I wasn't eating. I wasn't able to eat anything. I just
Mm.
couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to. They let her in after hours. She got there late, and she risked her life. She was like, "Look, I risked my life getting over here. It's wild out there, and I risked actually getting a ticket, and maybe
Mhm.
arrested being on
Yeah.
an interstate." And they let her in. It was after 9 o'clock at that time.
Uh-huh.
Um, and she helped feed me.
Wow.
That gave me immense hope. It was an act of just pure love. That's all I can say is it was an act of pure love and respect and honored our friendship. And I'll never forget it. That also with that will to live in that, not, it's not your time. You
Yeah.
gotta,
Yeah.
that's what I needed. It was the one bit that lifted me up to a different level. I said, okay, I need to live. I need to do everything I can, hopefully. But I also equally within that time, by the second day, I had to, I was accepting that, mm, I might not,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I might be paralyzed. I'm as well. There was all these other things happening. And I said, but I remember by the second day I was hospitalized, I had a moment where I submitted and I felt just everything melting away. I said, I have no control over absolutely nothing right now,
Mm.
at least in this physical space.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to keep my spirit high. That's what I have control over. My heart, my mind, my soul. That's it. My body's gone. And everything else that's occurring out in the world or that I'm worried about, or, how am I going to pay my bills if I don't, if I'm not working, all these things, they were trivial, totally gone, complete peace. I felt complete peace for a moment. Yeah. That was just the beginning of that journey. And
Wow.
I had to learn how to walk, move. It was a rebirth.
Wow.
And physically, every day I remember moving a penny across a table with an occupational therapist
Wow.
and them clapping because I moved it a foot with my finger and screaming, progress. This is progress. Yeah. Great job today, Brandon. I do that 5, 6 times and incredible. And I saw it. I saw no way out. I was like, this is going to be a long road. And then I had to accept that because they were saying it would be about a year to fully recover from, and they weren't wrong. I hope that gives you some bit of mine.
Oh, absolutely, man.
I got broken, in a healthy way. I got broken down so I could continue to build and grow stronger and more resilient. And I think suffering, I will say this, if anything, brings wisdom if we want it to,
Absolutely.
right? Like there is nothing more that's going to bring us more wisdom in life than our own suffering, the suffering of others we endure,
Mhm.
we hold, we see, we experience. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that, and grace also.
Dude, I love it. Thank you again for hopping on.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I
Awesome.
appreciate you and you guys doing what you're doing. And you have a customer for life. I've already passed it on too. So I have more to purchase that I really have been eyeing up on the site too. And I've sent plenty of other friends of mine to it.
Thank you so much. It was an honor talking to you.
You too, Ian. Thank you so much. Good luck with everything.